welcome to another Stamp Chatter video. My name is Leanne and I am an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. I have been for over 20 years. And today I'm going to show you a fun pop-up card, kind of a pop, I don't even know what to call it, but it's a fun, unique card that I saw somewhere. I can't even remember where. And I thought, oh, this is cute, super simple. I'll show you how I made it. All right, so I am using Country Woods today. Country Flowers. Country Woods is the designer paper that came with it. I bought the whole suite, kit and caboodle, because I wanted everything matching. You know how that goes when you're addicted to stamping. Okay, so I've got some smoky slate here. And we're going to cut that down to 5.5 by 8.5. I'm going to score it at 4 1/4. So kind of a typical card. Only I'm going to cut off 2 1/8. I'm going to cut that off and I'm going to save this piece. Put that aside, bring that out. Fold that just like that. All right, I'm going to take this and I'm going to take the Eyelet 3D embossing folder that comes with the suite. And I'm going to tuck it in here. I like to line it up with that line that's at the top here. That way I know I've got the design straight. I'm going to run that through my embossing folder and I'll be right back. All right, so I've run that through my embossing folder. I do recommend you do this first before you trim it. So I'm going to trim it down to size. And the reason I say that is depending on your design, I have noticed on some cards with some designs that if I've cut this down to the exact size I want and then I run it through the embossing folder, it tends to shrink the card a bit and make my measurements a bit off. So I prefer to do it this way. All right, so now I'm going to cut this down to 1 7/8 by 5 1/4. All right, just like that. Now I've taken the Country Woods designer paper and I could show it to you, but you know what? I probably have 3 sheets left. I don't even have I've just used it that much. So if you go online and you can see all the fun papers that are in there. So let's bring our little card base back. All right. This is part of the designer paper, isn't it just cute? Matches the Eyelet embossing folder. So we'll bring that in, grab my glue, and we will tack this down like that. Try not to get glue on my fingers. All right. And this little piece that I just embossed, oops, I'm going to put on the outside. And that should fit perfectly. Okay, and then I cut another piece of the designer paper, so that's what it looks like on that side, but I'm gonna I want this to be kind of a tone-on-tone card, and we'll put that on the inside. Come on, I know I'm not running out of glue here. There we go. And that'll go on the inside. Uh-oh, there goes my dog. That's what you get when you're recording. You never know what noises you're gonna get. I think it's the mailman. It's probably about time for the mailman. Anyway, here, that is my base card. So I'm gonna do a little layering. This again is from the same DSP pack. And I just like the real subtle light color. So let me just finish tacking all that together. And then we'll get to the stamping and show you how to pop up this card. All right. Put that here. Just like that. All right, so let me bring in some Whisper White. I thought I had cut some up. Clearly, I did not. So I don't have any scraps, so I'm gonna have to make a scrap. I'm gonna do 3 inches. All right. So I'm gonna use a really old technique. At least when I started this 20 plus years ago, it was one of the first things I learned, and it's called direct to paper. So I'm gonna take the smoky slate, and I'm just, whoop, that was a bit dark. I'm gonna turn it over. I don't want that. There we go. So you can go as light or as dark as you want. I just want those streaks because I'm gonna take the pail and I'm gonna ink that up, and I'm gonna stamp that, and I get this really cool looking pail. So that's cool. I'm gonna take the flowers that are also from Country Flowers. These are the flowers in Country Flowers. I'm gonna stamp that, and we're gonna color that. But I'm not gonna show you all my coloring because that just takes too long because I'm a fussy colorer. But that's what I did. I've already done that here. There's 1. I've already colored it. There's 2. And I'm gonna run that through my little mini emboss. So let me take that aside. So here's another way to use your Post-it notes or your sticky notes. If you don't already do this, it's a great little technique. Take my base plate. You can see how well loved my machine is. It probably needs a little cleaning. All right, let's just take that off. All right, we're gonna put these little guys there. I'm gonna grab the dies. Where's my little die set? There it is. And I'll grab this one. People, I am notorious for losing dies. And there we go. Okay, so I'm gonna take my sticky notes. You can do a Post-it note. I like to buy these from Daiso. It's a Japanese dollar store near where I live. And this just helps keep everything squared up. You know, I used to be able to just sort of throw it on here and hope for the best. And usually it was pretty good. But I find as the plates do warp a little bit, that the die moves. And so, especially if it's an intricate one like this flower, I would rather line this up. Now, usually I would stand over it, and I'm not, so I hope I'm getting this right. And then tack it down. And then it's not going to move on you. Now I will put my top piece in there and run it through. Great way to use your sticky strips. There we go. How about that? Isn't that a cool technique? You can do it with any color. And there we go. Love, love, love tacking it down like that. It's a great tip. Okay. And my paper's all coming apart here. All right, there we go. Didn't tape that down very well, did I? Okay. So now we have these 2 pieces. I'll bring my card base back. And I'm actually going to show you another technique. First, we're going to do some stamping. I'm going to take this flower market in here, right here, and some basic tuxedo black. Tack that on there. Take my memento. Stamp that up. Now, again, it's hard to do this on video because I'm not right over top of it, and I like to be over top of it. So hopefully I get this right. Isn't that cute? Flower market. All right, let's bring that layering piece in. Put this down, and then we can get to the business of the mechanics of this card. Okay, so let's take some glue. I'm going to glue this down like that. Leave room for a sentiment there. Excellent. And then bring in some dimensions. I just have mini ones. Where are my other ones? Here they are. I don't know about you, but when I get crafting and stamping, after about an hour, my room or my desk is a disaster. And I literally have to stop and clean everything up, or I just can't keep going. That's about the point I'm at here with this video this morning. I've been doing a number of videos, and I'm getting to the point where I need to clean before I go any further. All right, there's that. I'm going to use a fun little technique. Again, old. Instead of direct to paper, it's direct to stamp. And I've got 2 markers here, Berry Burst and black. And this says sending love. So I'm going to color the love. Of course, this will stain your photopolymer because it's red. Some of the red paint colors do that, but it doesn't affect your stamp at all. Just stains it, that's all. All right. And then come in here. Oop, I should have put my pot just a little higher, but I think I'll get it. Just sending love. All right, let's get to the mechanics of the card. So I have an inside piece here that is 4.5. Let me get my notes. 4.5. So let's cut this. First I'm gonna cut 2 pieces. One piece is going to be 2 1/4. 2 1/4 by 3 1/4. This is going to be the piece that we use that's going to pop up, or inside piece. And then I'm going to score it every 3/4 of an inch. Now, for some reason, I like doing that side first and then bringing it over. So it's 3/4 and then 1.5 and then 2 1/4 and then 3. And that should leave you, do that on the long side. That should leave you this little tab here that's going to help close the box. And then our inside piece, honestly, I've forgotten what that is. I have to measure this. Is going to be 4.5 by 3. So let's take this, I'll cut that down to 3 by 4.5. Now, at this stage, I would recommend you stamp your card, the inside, because it'll be very difficult to do after you've attached this. So let me go ahead and stamp this. Stamp the corner like that. And then I'm gonna take, where is my stamp set? I'm gonna take this one. So it says, with heartfelt thinking symphony, it's sympathy. I don't know where my brain is there. All right, I need to grab another block. And I will go ahead and do that same technique, direct to stamp. And I'll color in the sympathy. Now, I would just do this using the side of your marker so that you don't end up fraying your tip at all. There is a risk if you do this too much, but you're okay. If you just tilt it to the side, you'll be fine. Just like this. Excuse me. All right. And hopefully, excuse me, this will work. There you go. And I will color that in quickly. A bit of a dry throat. All right, so I'm just using some granny apple. All right, and we're done. Good, that's the inside. So let's push that aside. Let's bring this back in. This was our 3 1/4 by 2 1/4. And we're gonna fold that into a square, just like this. And we'll put some glue on this little tab at the end here. I'm just going to fold this in half like that. And there you go. Just got a little square. So let's bring our card back in. All right, so the idea here is we're going to lay that flat, and then you're going to line up this score line with the score line here on your card. And you don't need to measure, just put somewhere in the middle. Turn this around, put glue on both sides. Easy peasy, line up the score lines. Just like that. Oop, don't let it move. All right, there you go. Now, you could use some double-sided tape if you'd rather make that really, really sticky. I find the glue works, just got to give it time to dry. So bring in my front piece, and I'm going to glue this on. Now, here is another little trick I like to use with my sticky strips, and that is I'm going to take a really long strip. This works really well if you have a whole bunch of die cut pieces. This isn't necessarily needed for this type of card, but it does help. You know, it's hard to know where to glue sometimes, and so I'm just going to put my tape on there. I'm going to turn it over, and then I know that the glue is going to stay to the left side of that sticky strip, and then I won't accidentally put glue anywhere else. Now, I'm pretty good at guessing for these types of cards, but like I say, if you were going to use a whole bunch of cutouts and maybe line them up on the side of a card, this technique would really, really help. So, but then you can also go back in because I've lined this up like that, and I know exactly where it's going to go. Just like that. And then take that off and open that up, and there's no glue whatsoever. All right, one more thing left to do. Let's put some more glue on the top here. Take in our inside piece that we have decorated and colored. So I like to actually open this up. I can lay it down. If I use the glue, I've got a few seconds to make sure that this is center. And that's it. Oop, I'm going to move that down just a bit because, up a bit. Oh, what's with me today? Up, up, up. Close that. It says I want this to layer. Oh, a little more, little down. I'm having problems today. Here we go. That's got to be it. There we go. Then I got that nice little white layer on the outside. And that is how you make that pop-up card. So thanks for joining me today, everybody. And I hope you learned a few things. Have a fun day. Bye.